Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for this Thursday evening, February the 13th, 2014, pre-Valentine's Day Eve. For everyone like me who's single, good luck tomorrow. Tomorrow's just another day. Anyway, tonight's Impact still on the European tour, this time in Manchester, England, following 2 weeks in Glasgow. In Manchester for this week and next week. We got matches made for Lockdown. Was Lockdown's the next major pay-per-view. And, of course, I didn't have to come. I haven't been in Attack Sports in a few days, so I haven't come in. Jeff Hardy will be returning at Lockdown. And Lethal Lockdown may be happening. And all the matches are once again back in steel cage matches. Because last couple of years, not every match was in a steel cage. That was a tradition of Lockdown. Every match was in a steel cage. Now it's back to every match being a steel cage match. That should be great. Plus, we saw a couple in-ring debuts tonight. And a new person debuting. And also a teaser for another new person debuting. So a lot of debuts tonight. 2 in-ring debuts. A debut of a new person involving... The only match was a screwy ending. Which was the Chris Sabin Velvet match. I knew that match was not going to end pretty. Plus, we had some decent action tonight. So a lot of action tonight. Still hasn't blah blah, but decent action tonight. Better than my little ass talk. Now they listen to me a little bit. It was a little ass talk, a lot more action tonight. So there you go. Besides the Sabin Velvet match, it ended kind of silly. Now, let's kick off with the TNA World Champion Magnus being booed in his home country of England, along with the Team Dixieland members, his fellow Team Dixieland members, of course, of EC3. Dixie Carter and Rockstar Spud. Of course, applauding EC3 for a sneak attack on Kurt Angle last week, preventing Angle from competing in any more TNA events for a while after attacking him during his match against Magnus. Speaking of screwing endings. Of course, angry about MVP, blah, 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 blah. I love the boring champions fans. I've said it every time. UK fans and English fans and European fans are the best wrestling fans in the world. That's why when it's WrestleMania time and it's the post-Mania show, the crowd's always great because the Englanders come to the post-Mania show after they went to Mania. So as Magnus was blah, blah, blahing about, MVP, about being champion, here comes MVP. Wanting once again make Dixie's life a living hell and try to get rid of the control that Dixie has. Try to control the Iron Fist, like get rid of Iron Fist of Mr. Carter. So I kind of thought this was going to happen, that Samoa Joe would take on Magnus at Lockdown for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship after Joe got the shot. Well, there's one man who wants a shot at the title as well. In fact, the man who deserved a shot at the title actually is holding a briefcase. The Money in the Bank, the Feast of Fire briefcase, holding the World Championship, of course, held at this time by Gunner. Gunner wanted to cash it in next week. We made the UK fans upset. Doesn't Manchester fans know that they taped 2 Impacts in the same day? That means they're going to tape next week's the same day as this week's? Anywho, since Gunner wants to get back as a chance to rest a little bit before he gets the shot, but Dixie's like, no way, Jose. You're not going to get away that easy by trying to cash in on Mr. Magnus. You're going to have to defend that briefcase tonight against EC3. And MVP's like, wait a minute. How about we raise the stakes a little bit, Dixie? EC3's got a briefcase too. A briefcase containing a tag team title shot. So let's have a ladder match. Winner take all, both cases. So there you go. First off, it began as a singles ladder match, and MVP even kind of warned EC3 about any outside interference, any shenanigans, and MVP will try to even up the playing field. Well, I should have thought some cheesy was going to come into play with this situation. As a match that started off as a singles match became a tag team match, following the interference as we should have expected for one of course, EC3's little cronies being Mr. Magnus. Following Magnus's attack, here comes James Storm, making it a fatal 4-way match for both cases. In the beginning of the match, like I said before, Magnus got him up. Weapons were used. The ladder was used as a weapon. But I was hoping that it wasn't going to end with the Magnus interference. So I'm going to MVP. Like I said, he warned EC3 EC3 PO, as he called it. That was kind of funny. Like I said, the match became a fatal four-way affair for both cases. There was one cool spot. Magnus and EC3 kind of had their little issues, but they did a double team on Gunner through the table. They had Gunner the top rope, and they hold the ladder like a little power, like a little double team move. They slammed the Gunner against the ladder. That was kind of a cool little double team move. But EC3, I think EC3 is starting to get jealous. He doesn't want to be like Rockstar Spud's a lapdog for basically Magnus and Dixie and also EC3. But I think EC3 is kind of sick and tired of being Magnus's lapdog. With everybody out of the ring, EC3 was finally going for that briefcase. And Magnus was fighting with EC3 because he knew that EC3, if he were to climb that case, he got those cases. One of them would be a shot against him. And he's his crony, and EC3's trying to... it looked like EC3 was going to finally get his hands on Magnus and try to beat up on Magnus. But James Storm and Gunner were trying to thwart that. And James Storm and Gunner patched things up, And they had a little differences. We saw what happened a couple weeks back in the match against Bad Influence. Back as a tag team. And boy, oh boy, did they work together as a tag team to get the finish on this kebab of the finish on this little matchup. And following Storm taking care of Magnus and Mr. EC3, even at one point, Gunner even nailing the whack at one point. But indeed, following the move thwarted by Magnus got caught out by Storm. Ladder got brought into play again, and I wish there was more weapons besides the ladder though. But the ladder was using the weapon pretty well. And Magnus took care of it by nailing EC3 with it, setting up a flying headbutt. With Magnus down and EC3 down, it gave Mr. Gunner the opportunity to get the briefcases. I thought Magnus may come in last minute trying to thwart him, but it wasn't to be. As Storm and Gunner respectfully got the briefcases, Gunner got the cases, climbed them off, got him off the hook. Well, I'd say Storm won too, because Gunner got the World title briefcase for him to cash in next week. And the tag team title shot with him and Storm. So that means EC3 has no cases. So that's good. That EC3 has no more cases. Who is he going to partner with anyway? It's basically a cushion to kind of make the bromance with all the tag titles. Since bromance and EC3 are kind of like together because of all Team Dixie cronies. So now EC3 doesn't the case anymore. That means the bromance will watch their back. That the former champs have a shot again. In a briefcase, they can cash in at any time. So the bromance are kind of fuming at Dixie for this happening. Under her watch, with the help of MPP making a match. So bromance want to take out their aggression. And also Zima Iron too, since he lost an opportunity to win the X Division Championship last week when he failed to cash in his briefcase against Austin Aries, despite taking out Aries with street clothes on. Aries with street clothes won the match last week. So MVP decided to make a six-man tag involving his two men making their in-ring debuts tonight. Of course, I'm referring to Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, otherwise known as the American Wolves, in a six-man tag with the mystery partner. And I kind of suspected it was going to be the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. They would team up against the Bowmans and Zima Iron. I've been saying it for a while. The TNA Tag Division is in need of fresh blood. Gunner and Storm getting back together is pretty good. But these American Wolves guys, I think they're going to give the tag team division a kick in the ass that it fucking deserves in TNA. The WWE tag team division is better again. The TNA has been a better tag team division for years. They had so many great tag teams. Bear Money, Motor City Machine Guns, Generation B, so many others. Have Team 3D. But there's not been a tag teams. Chavo Hernandez are out of the scene. Either they're both injured or released. I don't know the story about them two right now. And, the only team... I love Bad Influence, but they're not getting a proper shot at anything since they got hailed champions. But American Wolves, and they were first show tonight in a six-man tag. Great double teaming moves, took it over the first half of the matchup. I think American Wolves could be potential good to go for a title shot. Now that Gunner and Storm's got a title shot with the briefcase that they received from this ladder match they won tonight. It was a decent ladder match. glad it didn't get thrown out and the Magnus got involved. Basically put Magnus in the match. So, after they cash in their shot, I think American Wolves should be next in line. As long as they get some good wins. You know, in tag team matches, like regular 4-man tag, not 6-man tag. And Wolves, and like I said, Wolves and Joe look very good too, of course. Zima Iron and the Bromance took advantage for the later half of this matchup, isolating the Wolves in their corner. But of course, when the Samoan Submission Machine got in the ring, there was of course one chant that everyone was chanting. Even me at home was chanting this one. Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's on a rampage. He of course has a world title shot. No matter who wins the match next week against Gunner and Magnus, the winner of that match will take on Jordan Lockdown for the title, and it will be in a steel cage. Since, like I said in the beginning, it's back to every match being a steel cage match format of Lockdown, as it was made earlier this week from the Impact 360 videos. So Zima Iron was basically fed to the slaughter, as he was put in the good clutch following the muscle buster from Joe. And then Joe killed Zima Iron this evening with the victory, going to Joe in this matchup, getting Joe momentum. But the showing of the Wolves showed me that I know the Ring of Honor guys, see how they do in TNA, but I think if they get some great tag team wins under their belt, I think they potentially could be tag team champions. And we need some more new teams in TNA, man. Keep it going. Try to get new teams. Or even start up new teams. And like I said, this is a night of debuts tonight. We have the in-ring debuts of the American Wolves. We've also seen the in-ring debut of MVP, of course, the investor. But we also know that he's, of course, a wrestler. Before we get to MVP's debut, we also got a new guy coming in. Willow making his debut with his little vignette. I thought it was Jeff Hardy for a moment. But it was wearing I thought it was Jeff Hardy in his new look. Because, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, Jeff Hardy is coming back to TNA. You know, after his storyline quit to be written off the UK tour because he couldn't travel to UK, he is coming back in lockdown. In what capacity? Who knows? Maybe it'll be part of the lockdown that was announced later in the evening, which I'll get to. But this Willow guy has a real black and white mask and like a creepy little vignette promo. I don't know who's this Willow guy, like who plays him, so who knows. Speaking of people who wear a mask, we have a man who's without a mask right now. Joseph Park, Abyss. I've been saying that for months. I think that was the whole storyline. You know, that Abyss and Joseph Park are the same people, or the same person. It was up to Eric Young to kind of expose it. Well, the man Sanchez did get what he wanted. He did prove that Abyss and Joseph Park are the same person. So Abyss / Joseph wearing the hoodie, but no mask though, and wearing the Abyss costume, told Eric Young to come out and sell this once and for all. That was kind of like a weird segment. It was like Jekyll and Hyde. Man, I think Abyss and Joseph Park are like Jekyll and Hyde. Because Abyss was like, I don't want your help. I need your help. I don't need you. Well done. It's like he was like going one direction, then veering off to another right away. You know, because he's like, I'm done with you, Eric. And he said at the end of the promo, I need to find someone that knows me. You don't know what I've been through and all that shit. I need someone that knows me. Could this mean we could see a return of Father James Mitchell? Abyss's former manager / father figure, storyline father. I would love to see Father James Mitchell back. It would be very cool to see him back. We haven't seen him in a few years. If they can bring back Paul Bearer after so many years, well, of course, sadly, Paul Bearer is now dead. Rest in peace, Hall of Fame, hopefully, for him. Anyway, love to see James Mitchell back. Who knows? This could be a sign of it. Speaking of signs, this could be a sign for Abyss and Eric Young in lockdown. You know, the world of lockdown, lockdown's in a couple weeks, so this could be seeds for the possible match between Abyss and Eric Young in lockdown to end the feud once and for all. We prefer to end it. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But like I said, we saw the in-ring debuts of the Wolves. Now it's time for the in-ring debut of MVP. He challenged to a match the Chief of Staff of Dixie, of course, referring to Rockstar Spud. And Spud was hesitant to try to get in there, but after a little sneak attack move, he tried to pummel an MVP until he got squashed in less than a minute. Like, after Rockstar's early onslaught, this MVP just destroyed him with big moves and, of course, landing the big bullying move that he used to do. He still does it. ending with a big knee and a big victory for MVP in his MVP debut. He still looks great as a wrestler, you know. Even though it was only like maybe like a minute or two match, it was like a squash basically. MVP looked very good in his matchup tonight. You know, like I said 2 weeks ago when he was reviewed as the investor, I don't like him being the investor, but I like him being in TNA. But now I like him more as the investor, especially after that promo last week. But now seeing him back up his words in the ring, destroying while it's all spun. MVP, even after this investor storyline ends, especially if it ends up at Lethal Lockdown, you know what I'll say right now. We'll see what happens with that storyline. But I said there's a Lethal Lockdown match. Of course, Dixie Carter's kind of getting sick of MVP kind of throwing his weight around as the investor. So at the end of Impact tonight, we were trying to see Dixie Carter try to offer MVP a buyout offer. Try to buy him out to get rid of him. MVP denied the offer. But then challenged Dixie to a Lethal Lockdown match. Team Dixie against Team MVP. Winner gets full control of TNA. I think Dixie was hesitant for a moment, but I think she relented. The match will happen. Like I said, if the storyline ends soon with MVP, he'll be a good wrestler. He'll be good as a wrestler, not just investor guy. So we'll see how long this lasts. If it ends at Lockdown, when Team Dixie takes on MVP and Lethal Lockdown. You know what that means? Team of 5 against 5. And of course, it's a War Games type match with the walls coming down, the roof coming down, with the weapons to be used. And that's when I think Jeff Hardy is coming back. So since MVP was the one announced him coming back, it makes logical sense that Jeff Hardy could be part of Team MVP if this comes to fruition. So we'll probably see Dixie and MVP pick their partners in the next couple weeks. Speaking of Dixie, she has a little problem with Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was on a title shot. He lost the shot after he lost to Joe in a tag team match with Magnus a few weeks ago. So Roode went on a rampage. He kind of had an anger change, kind of lashing out at Dixie. And then later on, not knowing what's happening. You need to think about it, you know. I think after losing, not only losing an angle in a steel cage match at Genesis a few weeks ago, and also losing his title shot, I think he's really boiled himself. You know, he's helped Dixie Carter, helped Magnus save Magnus' ass numerous times with the title, and now he gets nothing reward. So we'll see what's next for Bobby Roode next week. We'll see what's up. Now, on with our next matchup. It's not even a match. It's more like a segment. I kind of knew this was going to end shitty. Velvet Sky against Chris Sabin. Now, Sabin came out calling Velvet names after he's like, come on, Velvet, I'll give you the first shot. Hit me with your best shot. Fly away. So I had to put a Benatar reference there. Anywho, I think Velvet tried to aim at the nuts first time, but she aimed at the kneecap first before nailing Chris Sabin where he really deserves it. Right in the ball sack. He had a cup. He took it out though. He made the mistake of taking the cup out, which left his penis wide open for another low blow from Velvet, unprotected. She just took him down and just pounded on him until this mystery woman came in. That's what I said. I knew it was going to be a shitty, silly ending. I didn't think it was going to involve. I thought maybe Lady Topper may come out and beat up. I said that to myself, that I thought Lady Topper may come out as an insurance policy. We would sell this other insurance policy. I thought it was Beth Phoenix at first, because Beth Phoenix is hot from WWE, but I don't think Beth Phoenix has a mohawk and black hair. So we saw this big woman come out and save Saban's ass, but just pounding on Velvet, putting her in a full Nelson of all moves, just shaking her like a ragdoll, just beat him up. And kind of counted for Saban 1, 2, 3, like not even an official match. The referee didn't count it. This mystery woman counted the 3. So there you go. Chris Sabin won the match, and like I said, we got a lot of new people making their debuts tonight. Whether it's in-ring debuts of the Wolves, and MVP making his in-ring debut as well, a promo promoting a new guy named Willow, and this new chick coming in, unnamed at this time. So we'll probably get her name probably next week. I'll just call her blonde Amazon-looking woman. And that's what Michael TNA called them. Mike TNA called them. He called her. Sorry. Him, her. Who knows? It looks like ODB if she was more muscular. But anyway, on with our main event. Probably the best match if you would name anything best in this Impact tonight. Like, it's like decent action, especially camping up with this main event. Very physical Main event, the casket match, involving Bully Ray and Mr. Anderson. Now, this feud's gone personal. And I said this a few weeks ago with TNA, that everyone's so depressed now. That TNA is no fun. I called TNA TNF at one point. Totally not fun anymore. You can tell it in everyone's faces. Especially Bobby Roode. Maybe it was like maybe his lashing out was not only lashing out against his character on screen, but lashing out against the backstage bullshit that's going on. Like, everyone's unhappy, whether it's on screen and off. Maybe that's how Bobby Roode Bobby Roode got pissed backstage, and it was like, hey, listen, Bobby Roode, you got pissed backstage? Take it out on screen. That's why I call TNA totally not fun. And also, you can't tell what's real and what's not anymore with everyone's saying. Well, especially before this match with Bully Ray kind of taking Mr. Anderson's cell phone and calling his wife. Way over the line. Way too personal. Even my mom called it too dark now. Well, it's too dark when you have Bully Ray calling Anderson's wife saying, your daddy's gonna come home in a coffin. And tell his friends he said bye-bye. So, a little over the edge there. I know TNA's trying to be edgy, trying to be TV-14, but come on, some things are too far. Anyway, on with it, like I said, main event. Bully Ray against Mr. Anderson. So they came out to the ring. Bully Ray had his jacket, took it off. He wore because this is England, after all. London, England, and Europe love football. Soccer, as it's known. Here in America, we call it football. Back as Europe call it soccer. So Bully Ray wore a jacket or a jersey of an enemy team, the Liverpool team of soccer. And they got the Manchester team kind of booing him. And then Anderson just pounding on him, whipped the shirt off, and just stomping on to the delight of the Manchester fans, and really took over the early half of this matchup. Until Bully Ray brought out a chair and just pounded Anderson with it during the break as well, making him bust open. Yeah, I was complaining about I was like, saying to myself, why there was no blood during the ladder match between Gunner and Storm and EC3 and Magnus, but we did see blood during this coffin match involving Mr. Anderson and Bully Ray tonight. So Anderson just got his head busted open a little bit, and Bully Ray just pounded on with a chair. The only weapon that was used, well, besides the table which was used, Anderson pulled out the table, but it was Bully Ray who ended up using it. There was some great, decent spots in this matchup, specifically the ending. Before we get to the ending, Bully Ray had Anderson and the coffin at one point. Bully Ray basically took the coffin, threw it into the ring, took the lid off and everything, threw it in the ring. Because normally the coffin's outside the ring, but this time the coffin was in the ring to put your opponent in. And Anderson was in the coffin at one point. Especially if the Bully Ray powerbombed him through a table. One of the most cool spots, besides the ending. It was just a physical match between these two guys, and this could be, pardon the pun, the nail in the coffin to their feud. Especially with the ending. I keep mentioning the ending, though. Like, building up suspense. So after Bully Ray tried to put Anderson back in the casket, Anderson kept fighting back, despite all the punishment that Bully Ray gave him, especially the chair shots, especially after he put him through a table. And Anderson was trying to fight back after that table, trying to block the table spot, but he got through the table. And it was just physically demanding, especially with the shots. In the ending, here's the ending. After Anderson got put through the table, Bully Ray was setting up the big move to put Anderson in the coffin. He put Anderson in the coffin. He was setting up a pile driver. He was going to pile drive Anderson on the coffin. He's pile driving him through a table, pile driving Anderson on the stage. And the final nail in the coffin, once again, the pun, was to put Anderson, giving him the pile driver in the coffin. But then Anderson countered it. He got back up, and it might checked Bully Ray in the casket. That was a great finish. And put the lid on. That was a victory. That was a great finish. With Bully Ray being blocked, the pile driver by Anderson, and literally putting the final nail in this coffin. Once again, putting the pun again. When you have these coffin matches, the puns are going to be used a lot. So I like the finish, like I said, Anderson with the mic check on Bully Ray. You got out of that hold of the pile driver, just nailed that mic check as Bully Ray landed right in the casket, face down though. So there you go. Anderson gets a victory. Like I said, probably ends his feud with him and Bully Ray. Maybe not. Maybe if this feud really does end, it needs to end really. You know, it's been going on for a while ever since Anderson got rid of Anderson Yates a few months ago. And Bully Ray's been psychotic since. But if the feud does continue, steel cage match at Lockdown will solve it. You know, if this feud does continue, it needs to end though. But if it ends up continuing on further than anyone thought, it would end at Lockdown. Perfect way to end it. Steel cage match. You know, if a coffin match don't end this, a steel cage match will. You know, so there you go. Decent Impact tonight in Manchester. Back in Manchester again next week. And next week we will see Gunner and Magnus take on each other for the world title as Gunner catches in his briefcase. We'll see if he catches it successfully. The people like CM Punk and other people who cashed in Money in the Bank successfully. Or we end up like a John Cena or a Damian Sandow. Unsuccessfully winning the title after cashing in. Cashing in and not winning the title. We'll see what result will happen with Gunner. The winner will take on Samoa Joe at Lockdown. After the hesitation for Dixie, it will be Lethal Lockdown, Team Dixie against MVP. We'll see who joins both teams. And maybe Anderson and Gunner, or Anderson and Bully Ray at Lockdown. And possibly other matches be made for Lockdown. We'll probably see those matches made next couple weeks to come. That is it for my TNA Impact Wrestling review for this evening. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much again for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great Valentine's Day weekend, everybody. And President's Day weekend, too. Especially for Valentine's Day for all the people like me who are single. I feel you, but yeah. See you later, everybody. Have a great weekend. Yeah.